We've run this course twice before. The idea is to sit and engage with our environmental health office team just so they can understand really the effect they have when they come in our business. So when they come in our sites and they'll apply a legal requirement, the interpretation of that requirement can differ. So the idea of Trading Places is to say, look, this is how we cover this as a business, as a whole. This is our interpretation. This is what we've put behind that to manage our requirements so they can get an understanding. So the next time they appear in one of our stores, they've got some background knowledge of that's what they do and that's the reason behind it.
What I've taken from today and the comments that have been made to me are the positives of what they may have perceived being done or not being done. Actually now is the case that there's quite a lot of going on behind the scenes that we just maybe weren't familiar with. So I believe that that's broken down that barrier, which is, for me, definitely the key of what this was aimed to achieve.
I think from the AHO's point of view, I'd like to think they went away seeing that we're a very open, honest business. We like to think we're very good at what we do. We like to build that relationship with our regulators. We still want them to engage with us and to point out where we have got things wrong, but to have a more user-friendly avenue to do that, really.
I think really very much the fact that it allows regulators to understand the context in which businesses operate.
We had a lot of EHOs that had mainly food background, and I think from my point of view, and their point of view also, that the health and safety specialists would have benefited as well from something like today.
So they can see processes we have in place, the fact that we have investigation processes for if it does go wrong, and also we'll treat anything that they come up with very seriously when they ring it through. Guarantee essentially wherever I go, I know I'm going to find the same bit of documentation or the same process in place, because it's written in such a way that it's so simple to follow, it would be harder to try and deviate from it.
The local authorities, they have a set amount of shops in that region. For us, our region is much wider, and for them to understand that the compliance that we're aiming to get is in every single one of those shops.
The benefit for us is really an opportunity to show how we achieve our compliance and that we take quite a rigorous approach to it. That there's a lot that we do that's beyond legal requirements as well, just as being a responsible corporate citizen. Anything that can help regulators understand legitimate businesses and put things in context has to be welcomed.
An EHO officer comes into the shop, then it's not necessarily all a bad thing, that their aim is to also help us. And if a new pair of eyes go into the shop and they see something that maybe the shop manager didn't quite pick up, then there's that communication and the positive that comes out of that instead of just the negatives, which I think has historically been the case.
We already enjoy a very good relationship with both our trading standards and our environmental health authorities, and we do value the advice and assistance that those local authority contacts give us.
Now I've made contacts and I've got names and faces, I believe that's a good breakdown as well. It's going to be easier to pick up a phone, talk to the EHO on ideas, maybe issues that you have before any proceedings take place. I think that's going to be a good benefit for both parties.
That partnership approach with within business, you operate with all the rest of your business partners, your suppliers, your customers. I see no reason why everyone wouldn't want to do a similar thing with their regulators, because similar with agreeing with your suppliers a process and a specification, it should be exactly the same with your regulator. I think it's just good business.
Good contact, good communication, and being able to advise your peers of the positives, not just all the ways of the negatives.
The things that they're pushing, things like primary authority, trading places, it's about making things easier for us to run a responsible business in the right way, and cutting out all this bureaucracy and unnecessary, I suppose, wastage, if you want, of business time by engaging with government. I would, because I can't see any negativity around really engaging your enforcement team and bringing them in and essentially demonstrating how good you are at what you do. I think if you've got good processes in place and good people, and you are a good business, there's no reason not to try and get no reason to get the enforcement guys in and to answer their questions and to get them to the point where they understand what effect their activities have on your business and how they can also interact with you to make sure you continue to comply.
I would recommend trading places. Definitely don't be quite as standoffish. They need to learn from us as we need to learn from them. And I think if you give it a little bit of time and effort and you start that communication, I think that can only be a good thing.